Hi guys, my name is Doula Nairi and you will find me on the Doula Nairi channel, and I talk about all things relating to family life. But today we're going to be talking about looking after children who've been sexually abused, which is a really difficult subject for everybody. So if you think that talking about adoption and fostering and categories of abuse is something that you're interested in, then please hit the subscribe button below and you will know when I bring out other videos. So let's talk about sexual abuse. It's a really difficult subject. This is not going to be an easy video for me to make because talking about it is very difficult for adults. It's really hard for us to appreciate that an adult could put a child through sexual acts that makes that child lose their innocence. And for many people that go into fostering and adoption, it's probably the one category that they don't want to have to deal with. But the news is that many children have been sexually abused that come into care. I don't know the figures, but I can also say that somebody might come into care with one category of abuse and then sexual abuse will become apparent later. Now, what do you need to think about when you're dealing with these children? How can you look after them? How can you make life better for them? Well, the first thing to think of is you just look at them as normal children. Normal children that have had experiences that many children don't have. And the reason why you need to be careful not to look at them in a different way when you find out some perhaps awful things that have happened to them is because these children don't understand that sexual things have happened to them because they are not at the age of understanding sexuality. So for them, things that might have happened in their family might seem normal. They may have been unpleasant. They don't understand them from a perspective as an adult. So as adults, we know what sexual acts are, we know what sexual behaviours are, but children don't know that. So it's really important that you don't make them feel different, or you don't make them feel awful about it, but that as they start to disclose to you, or perhaps you see stuff happening, that you just take it calmly and quite acceptingly. We'll talk about disclosures and how to record them in another video. So what can you expect with a child that's been sexually abused? You can expect a lot of trauma, and if the child was pre-verbal, a great deal of difficulty in trying to explain to you what's happened to them. They often won't have the words, and they often talk in terms of being hurt, but again, they don't necessarily use sexual words. But you can expect to see some sexualized behavior. You'll hear this word quite a lot. So you might be expecting something massive to happen with sexualized behavior and see something really shocking. But sometimes it's just the small things that make you understand that this child has experienced things that children of that age do not normally experience. It could be the way they play with dolls. It could be a slight touch on you that just feels a little bit uncomfortable. Normally your instinct will be right because children don't know things at certain ages. So if they are putting dolls together in a certain way, they're touching you in a certain way and they're talking in a certain way, and it doesn't fit with their development, the chances are they've experienced things that are of a sexual nature and not, appropriate to them. The other thing you will find is lots of nightmares and bedwetting. It's something that's quite common with children who've been sexually abused, and they may well wake up in the middle of the night and not be able to explain to you what it is they're experiencing. And at that time, of course, an amazing hug is what they're looking for. So I hope that helps you guys. That's just a very short video on what some of the things could be that you have when a child is sexually abused. But there is one more thing to consider, and that is if you have other children in the house, or you are grandparents and their other children may be around, because sexualized children don't understand that what they're doing is different, or that other children do not do the same things as them, there are risks involved with having those types of children in your house. So you will have to make sure that you don't leave children in a room on their own together if you know a child you're looking after has been sexually abused. It sounds obvious, but sometimes your back is turned and they can go off and do something. And a child will play in the way that they used to, and they sometimes will carry out similar acts and try out things that have been actually tried out on them. And as awful as that seems, that's the reality of it. So you do have to be aware of the risks that there are around these children. It doesn't really need to be said, but they need to be loved, and it's amazing to be able to help them to heal and to move forward from their experiences. But it is a long road, and sometimes they will regress and they will do things that are disappointing and difficult for you to cope with. And also, when the disclosures start, they can be really, really traumatic for you and difficult to handle. But as I say, I will cover that in another video. So if you've enjoyed what you've heard today and you think that you might be looking after such children as these, or it might even be that you've experienced things yourself as a child, then please subscribe to my channel, because there is so much on there about family life in general. I know you will enjoy watching my videos. So look forward to seeing you soon on some of my other videos on my channel. Thank you for listening now. Bye bye.